What's up, everybody? Welcome to your PixelPlay Sidequest for this week. My name is Adam, aka CS Radical, joined as always, Jin and Chris, aka Chris. Hey!
Hi. That's me.
Another week, another set of remakes that we're going to do. We're doing our first handheld, though. I mean, I guess
Yeah.
at this point, almost everything's a handheld if you're running it on Steam Deck, but that's besides the point. We're not at that point in, what are going to be the Steam remake a list, and you're gonna be like, well, wait, that doesn't make any sense. They're just
That's
whatever
just
you want it to be on there. And that's when you
yeah,
just be like, you
exactly.
know what? That Earthbound game was great on Steam Deck.
I love that remake. That
But
yeah.
but with handhelds, Game Boy is just it's the OG.
Oh,
Now
the
we're gonna
OG.
include the color in this one because even though they are kind of technically two different generations, let's be honest, I don't remember what games are OG and what games are color. So
Yeah.
fuck it. I'm not trying that hard.
Yeah, it's tough because it's like the same tech. They just added color instead of it being,
I mean,
I
technically,
guess, a
every
green tint.
game is on the OG Game Boy. It just some of it won't have color.
Yeah. Yeah.
So we're doing a bit
Oh,
of everything here. Obviously, here on YouTube, guys, if you like content like this, like and subscribe. Leave a comment below on what your favorite Game Boy original or Game Boy Color games are. Not to mention, which what we're really going to talk about here is which ones we want to see make a comeback. Now, right off the bat, Link's Awakening's off the table. It's done.
yeah, I
So
know.
the actual number one pick is gone.
Yeah, it's gone. We already took it. And
I
by
say
we, I
that
mean Nintendo.
because that's not the true number one pick, and I don't care what anybody says, because I'm going to pull out Dark Horse that I've talked about a couple of times here, the hidden gem that most people don't know exists, and it's a two-piece because I get to do what I want with these lists. It's going to be a double case because, well, you can't really do one without the other, because why wouldn't you?
Yeah.
The Harry Potter games on Game Boy, because they're actually JRPGs, essentially, and they were fucking amazing.
Oh, I didn't realize they were JRPG style games.
There are Game Boy Advance games that did it, and they're different. The Game Boy OG ones that were on that handheld were RPGs.
Wow, it's like
RPGs,
it's Hogwarts Legacy. Look at it.
but better.
But better. Well, I mean, yeah, okay, it's a JRPG. It's better.
Look, if
Everything's better
if
as a
somebody
JRPG.
remade a Harry Potter game or just did a brand new one as a JRPG, who are we kidding? We'd fucking love that.
Oh yeah.
You get to
Oh, I
rank up
would.
your Patronus spells. Like, come on.
That is
You're
actually
the real
very
Harry
cool.
Potter nerd. You would love that.
Oh yeah, I love Harry Potter. I would actually play the crap out of a JRPG turn-based Harry Potter game. Oh my god, I can't believe I didn't know these existed. And yeah, speaking
I
of
didn't
Steam
either.
Deck,
As a kid, my parents were just like, we're watching Harry Potter these days. Fuck it. Here, we'll get him this. And I'm like, okay, whatever. And then I'm like, wait, this is a Final Fantasy game. What the fuck?
I would, yeah, like Harry get. If anybody watching the video, Harry get an experience.
Well,
Holy,
everybody's watching the video
yeah.
over on YouTube only.
They could be just listening. They could just be listening and doing something else. Adam, come on.
Yeah, but I'm like the only person probably out of all of our subscriber base that has YouTube Premium and can even do that. So
That's true. I have it too. Hey, I have it too. But yeah, it's just us. Oh, that's a good pick though. Like this is something that I didn't know existed, and that's the only reason
look,
I do this podcast.
There's your Steam Deck games right there.
Literally, what I'm thinking. I'm gonna 100% get one of these on the Steam Deck and see how it is.
Yeah, I don't
Not
know
even
if
gonna
they
hide it.
did more outside because apparently they did a third one, but on the Game Boy Advance, but apparently it wasn't as great. So it's just these two, just for the first two books.
Ah,
So I don't think they did anything outside of that. So you just got the Philosopher's Stone and the Chamber of Secrets. So but both
Yeah.
of them were fantastic.
heck yeah.
Now watch,
I'm
they'll probably
yeah.
have aged terribly, but I don't care. I was like 10 when I
No.
played this. I have no idea.
No, it's not aged terribly. This looks fantastic. So I'm gonna play it. Probably after this hot podcast. That's the only reason I'm on here is to find hidden gems to play myself.
It's okay. I'll cover that in the main show too. That people have already watched from Wednesday. I haven't even got to that point yet, but hey, we're there because we record the side quest before that. Just it's like a warm up video for us, so we just end up doing that first. But anyways,
Gotta
that's
do the
my
warm-up.
first pick. So Chris, are you going big or you going hidden gem?
I guess kind of hidden gem. I'm not sure how hidden this was. But it's also a twofer because there's two of them, and it wouldn't really matter, I think, which one. But Natsume had another franchise next to Harvest Moon called Legend of the River King. And I loved it. And nobody knew what the hell it was. Everybody knew Harvest Moon. And there was always the people who were like, why'd you play a farming game? And it's like, it's fun and all that kind of stuff. Legend of the River King, similar-ish idea, only you're not farming, you're fishing. And it's about just doing that. And it was, as a series, it looked a lot like, obviously, Natsume's Harvest Moon and all that kind of stuff.
He does have a backwards cap on, so.
Yeah, he's got the same. It looks like it's like the best friend of the main guy from Harvest Moon, and they dress the same because they're friends. Like, it's just what it looks like. But yeah, it's got a similar feel like to Harvest Moon without obviously doing the farming stuff. And it's all just about you like working your way up to catching like the big fish. It's just as exciting and like you get that same hit, that dopamine hit of progression that you get with like the Harvest Moon games and stuff. You have, you gain experience and you like progress as you would. And both games were phenomenal. Now, would one over the other need to be remade? No, I think if they're going to remake these, they would 100% have to just put the two of them as like one collection. Considering most people I've ever talked to about this have no idea what this game is until I tell them it's like, oh, yeah. So until I'm like, yeah, it was made by the same people who did Harvest Moon, and they're like, oh, okay, I can see that. Fishing and farming kind of go together. It's all the new games like Stardew Valley, they are fully mixed together, right? So imagine Stardew Valley, but you're only doing the fishing and working your way up to getting that big catch, Great game. Very relaxing. Very relaxing.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, that's still in an era where Natsume wasn't like starting to lose its edge at that point, so
yeah,
we're definitely still in that era of like, okay, they're doing their job here. So,
oh yeah.
All right, fine. I'll pull out the big one. And no, it's not Oracle of Ages. I'm sure you'll probably have that instead. I'm gonna go with Pokemon Crystal because that is the de facto best version of that generation. And the fact that they only approached it with I know it's Soul Silver. I can't remember what the gold one was called, but like, I don't know. Like the fact that Crystal wasn't done is kind of frustrating to me because I think that's really where it was at. That's
that was a really good one.
I played a lot of which one did I have? I think it was Blue I had as a kid, but I played the fuck out of Crystal.
Oh yeah, I never ended up getting Crystal. I only had Blue, and I didn't get another Pokemon game until like the DS. And it's not like I didn't love Pokemon. I kept playing Blue well after new systems were out. I have no idea what was wrong with me. I couldn't stop. I think I was obsessed with trying to get all 150. I would love if they actually had a remake of this because I would love to actually play through that one because I never got a chance.
Yeah, I mean, at this point, we have like what we saw on Switch with Let's Go Eevee being like the red-blue redo. Like, I'd love them to do this again with, getting the most out of it because, I mean, again, Crystal has like a bit extra to it. I don't remember exactly how. Like, I know they added the beasts, which was Entei, Suicune, and what was it Raikou? I think was the lightning guy. I'm pretty sure that's right. But either way, like they definitely added a little bit more. I'm trying to remember what the differences were though, but it's just the one that I played so much. Let me just quickly Google what it was, because it's, I mean, if people were like, oh, how do you not remember? Bro, I haven't played a Pokemon game in full since this, and that was when it came out, so it's a little different.
Yeah, it's been a bit for you. Oh, just seeing this video is so nostalgic.
So they added those. There's another new character, so it was like mostly minor. It was almost like a slight DLC to it, really. But
yeah. God, I would love to get my hands on the second generation Pokemon games. Like, they would be so nostalgic and also new for me, which would be like something really rare.
It's difficult as a OG fan to get into because they're still largely kept the originals.
Yeah.
So it's not like you're going in blind like when you put in a new one now and you're just like, what is all? There's a keychain Pokemon? What the fuck am I looking at?
Is that a teacup with eyes? What the fuck?
Yeah, they're basically just Disney characters at this point.
Yeah, they're wild. Like they're just nonsense at this point. It's crazy. Oh,
that's my number two.
Good pick up. All right, so Okay, I'm gonna go with this one. It's a pretty big one, but as far as I know, they've never been remade. So if for some reason they have, like, I somehow missed it. But Kirby's Dream Land 1 and 2. Again, it was hard to pick one over the other because they're both so good. The best Kirby games, in my opinion, still to this day. They're so good. It was back when Kirby, excuse me, was still hard. It was very difficult. Well, not very, very difficult, but difficult enough that it wasn't like the Kirby games of today where it was just straight up like, oh, you die? No problem. You literally just come back to life right where you were standing. I know there's like Kirby and the Forgotten Lands, which got a little bit tougher and everything on the Switch. That was a nice return to form of the difficulty and stuff, especially the final boss being insane like it was. But still, that's a brand new game, and it was like a 3D Kirby. That the 2D games of Kirby 1 and Kirby 2, the music and everything, like just so nostalgic and actually fun and difficult and all that. Kirby 1 didn't even have powers too. Like you didn't absorb enemy powers, you just literally ate enemies and spat them out. It wasn't until Kirby's Dream Land 2 that they introduced the animals and being able to absorb different powers and stuff like that, which obviously captures a lot more of what like Kirby's Adventure was on the NES. I would love if they released these two games, difficulty intact, just updated graphics, still 2D, maybe even still pixelated, but like much higher quality pixel art, matching today's screens and stuff. I think that would be a huge win, and I would pick it up on my Switch 2 or whenever the heck this would release. I'd pick it up instantly. 100%.
My girlfriend would scream if those got remade.
Yeah. Like, and that was the thing. Kirby was like, especially back then, it was everybody kind of was just into it. Like it wasn't like one of those like Kirby now, not everybody's into because it's just there's so many like it's more of a kids game. It's like what Nintendo
it's become very baby.
Yeah, and it kind of sucks because the character, I get why they chose Kirby because like, dude looks kind of baby-esque, but it was a fantastic game, especially like once you start getting into the mixing of powers. The second game, you had to get a rainbow piece in each world, and if you got each one, you would actually unlock the super final boss. Like it actually had that kind of stuff. And being able to get all the rainbow pieces was not easy. It was actually pretty difficult because you had to go into a level with a certain power and hold on to it, or else you wouldn't be able to break a certain block or something. And it would be a power that actually wasn't available in that level. So you had to go to another level, get the power, and then enter that level, and hopefully you just didn't get hit. And I remember spending a large chunk of my childhood ensuring that I got to that final boss, and it was a pain, but I did it, and it was worth it. I stand by it. I stand by it was worth it.
It's still one of those series that I've had a lot of trouble getting really into. Like every time, and I think it's just because, and I think just with older games, it's harder for me to get into them now, considering how archaic a lot of them are. But like Kirby games in general, I think, again, it's probably a bit of that. It's a little too easy. And I say this is a guy who plays a lot of games on easy mode, but it's in the sense of like, it's easy in terms of how it plays so that it doesn't really feel very involving.
Yeah.
Now, the newest one on Switch definitely changed that a little bit. I did enjoy the little bit of time I did play, but I still didn't end up finishing it. But, I mean, going back to Dreamland, I think I would give it a fair shake now if I did see that it was getting a remake, because again, my girlfriend swears by that series of Kirby games, and also it's one of the ones that, like you said, that everybody doesn't stop talking about. So I'd love to get that one a proper fair shake because I never did play them growing up.
Yeah, and I think it deserves it. Like I try and when we do these episodes, I try and steer clear of like, every Mario or whatever that we'd normally have on that system that was obviously very popular. But this one, it's just like I couldn't not bring it up.
Sometimes there are just ones you can't ignore no matter what you do.
Oh yeah.
So my last one, this is a case of, speaking of things I haven't been able to play before. I don't really care which ones it is. I would just say all of them at this point because it can't be that hard to remake, but like all the Final Fantasy Adventure and Legend games. Like I don't even care which ones. Just one of them. All of them.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. 100%. Because it's crazy. They actually re-released those. They have like a Saga of Final Fantasy Legends collection. I actually have it on Steam. but it's literally the Game Boy games
Yeah.
just ported in a collection. And they're hard as shit. I will admit that. But I would love if all of those had proper updates, like a remake as Final Fantasy Legend and stuff. That's such a good pick.
Yeah, it's just one of those things where it's because I saw like I know it trying to think I don't think it was GDQ this year. I think one of the hotfixes did them, but I did see I think it was Legend 2. If I'm not mistaken, but like somebody ran it there and I watched that game and be like, that's like really just the kind of old school game that I wish we would see more of again, because it's very simplistic in its design, but it is a game that challenges you. And I find that a lot of JRPGs now, if they're still turn-based at all, lean in the thing of like, well, you have to just grind a bunch, where I feel like, there's always room for getting these games brought back, kind of reducing the grind load on it and making it more of in a sense of, being able to actually use your surroundings about you, being able to properly like optimize what you're carrying or optimize what spells you're using. Because that's the thing too. Like now that I play like the randomizer Final Fantasy 4, for example, paying attention to like certain status effects working on certain characters, I still don't do it as much as I should. I still usually just go with the tried and true method of over level and power through it. But like I do really appreciate it when games go a little bit beyond that and say like, look, you can't do that. You have to actually figure out what the boss's weaknesses are. You have to figure out what the best method of attack is. So
yeah, I think that is
with older school games like that. I think that gives a better opportunity to do that again.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, and I have played a bit of this on my Steam Deck, like the actual Steam version of it, and I've only played the first one for a bit, and it's one of those ones where like I got to a certain point and then shiny something else distracted me. They are hard, but like it's all about strategy. Like you get to use weapons a certain amount of time, and then the weapon's done. You get to use it 50 times. So do you want to use that on this enemy when you could save it for a boss and all that kind of stuff?
Unless you know how to glitch the game and break it, but
Yes, and I might need to look into that because holy heck. Oh,
right, well,
but so good.
That's my last one. What are you finishing off with here?
I'm going with a ridiculous answer, Adam. That's where I'm going. Because
all right, is there like some weird Mario Paint game on this thing too?
No. If anything, I would have gone Mario Picross because that's where the first Picross game that I played was.
That is true. I did see that, when I was researching like games, to try to kind of pick out, and I saw that and went, I think there's a chance. I doubt he'll pick it, but it is Picross.
Well, fun fact about that Picross game, it just got added to the Nintendo Switch Online service for Game Boy, and I did play it a bit yesterday. So I did
color
Picross.
Me shocked.
Spoiler alert, the very first puzzle is a Game Boy. That's what gets revealed. Haha. But what I'm going to suggest is actually something I'm surprised Nintendo... I don't think they ever played around with this idea again. It's kind of a game, but it's not. Okay, so bear with me. It's more of an accessory, but obviously it would have software. It's the camera, the Game Boy camera. Why the heck isn't the Game Boy camera, why isn't there a Switch camera or something? Like, the amount of fun, especially kids who have Nintendo Switch, could have with this thing would be insane. Like, again, it's you don't have to make it like it's this connects online and all of a sudden kids can send their pictures to people online and stuff like that. Obviously not that. This would be a thing to goof around with and maybe have a Nintendo Switch printer, like, or whatever, like the Game Boy printer was. But just to goof around, because I remember on the Nintendo 3DS, and I don't know if the Nintendo DS did this, but the Nintendo 3DS, which was 3D, allowed you to take photos with it. You could take photos, and those photos were actually 3D photos. So when you turned up the 3D on the 3DS, whatever images and pictures you were taking, it was pretty crazy. They were 3-dimensional photos. And obviously they were grainy as shit. They were like a 2009 webcam, like, let's be honest. But
yeah, they were YouTube 144p level.
Yeah, they were low level. But I still have those on my 3DS. And I've opened them and I'm like, damn, like this is pixelated as hell. But how cool is it that this random picture of a mug that I took is in 3D. And then you could actually do AR with it. You could actually have augmented reality using your 3DS where like characters and stuff were like coming in. Your me character from obviously your Nintendo account could come in and you could place them next to that mug like they're trying to climb it and then take a 3D photo. There was so much random crap as somebody who was like in their late 20s using the damn thing. I thought it was a lot of fun. And obviously that was something that the 3DS had as well as a bunch of other features. But I mean, that's something that was kind of around all the way back in the Game Boy times. And I think that, sure, the Switch doesn't have like proper camera and stuff like that, but imagine if there was some sort of an attachment for, the Super Switch camera or whatever you want to call it, like how much fun like people could actually have with that. And that's an easy accessory parents could buy their kids just to goof around, because instead of them borrowing your phone to take photos or whatever stuff you don't want kids really doing, or with their iPad, they can do it on their Switch, which is a much better, safer, probably more fun version that would make the kid feel special because it's their Switch with a camera attached to it and stuff, right? I could see a kid at Christmas walking around taking pictures of all their family members with their Switch and stuff, and people being like, what are you doing? And like them just goofing around. Me included. I would 100% do this too. I don't want people thinking this is just kids. This is also me, an adult man going around taking photos with a Switch, because why the hell not? That's funny.
Just make sure you're not doing that in public. You will get arrested.
Yeah, no, I would not do that. Yes, I would. That would be weird too. I'll take it to concerts though.
Nintendo really, really needs to bring back a lot of their goofy, like gimmicky stuff. So you know what, Virtual Boy, you're next. Let's go.
Yes, just duct tape the Switch to your head, man. It's easy.
Close enough. I mean, they did I guess technically they did with the cardboard thing, right?
Yeah. Oh gosh, that's not something I ever wanted to try ever. Just nope.
Well, I mean, we got a good list of games for people just to think about trying if they haven't played them already. I did want to leave just a couple of the obvious mentions, like obviously Super Mario Land 2, 6 golden coins, a lot of people will talk about, and then obviously Oracle of Ages Seasons from Zelda. Like those are kind of like the easy ones. I know that a lot of people swear by the Wario Land games.
Yeah.
I've never really been too into them, but I know people really swore by those.
Yeah, I mean, it's the inspiration basically for Pizza Tower. It's 100%. So, yeah, people definitely did love the WarioWare games. Not WarioWare, sorry, the Wario Land games.
Yeah. Any quick honorable mentions that you didn't get around to?
Yeah, just a couple. One, Mario Picross. Honestly, I had it on the list. I just chose not for it to be in my top 3 because there's so many Picross games since. It's just, I would love an official Mario one, but still, whatever. There was also a Game Boy Ninja Turtles game, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Fall of the Foot Clan. It was surprisingly really good. Tough, but really good. And I played it on the Cowabunga collection. Definitely something I'd bring back. And then my last one was also the Super Mario Land 1 and 2. Yeah. I had both of those. Such unique Mario games that, again, outside of a Game Boy or Virtual Console or whatever that Nintendo will have, Switch Online, you got nowhere you can really play those. So be great to be able to do that.
Well, seems like we got a good amount of stuff there. So we are going to take that and run with it. So that is our run of now the Game Boy. So we will get getting on to, in the same generation, we've still got the Saturn, we've got the N64, and we have the PlayStation 1. So that's a lot of potential because a lot of those games have aged poorly graphically and
so
can definitely
horrible.
Use it.
Oh my God.
I feel like that might be the generation that we just change the rule for that one specifically and be like, no, we need 5 for each of these because Lord knows. We'll stick to 3, but God only knows we're going to be talking about like, this looks so bad. Can we please update it because it needs it?
Yeah. That's going to be fun ones.
But alas, that is going to do it for this episode of the Sidequest. So as per usual here on YouTube, I already did say it, but hey, I get to say it twice because you made it to the end. You never know. You might have just put the headset down, walked away at the intro because you knew what you were walking into, and then came back later. So don't forget to like and subscribe. Obviously, you got the link tree there at the bottom of your screen. Link is in the description to get you to the Discord, link to our socials, all that jazz. Most importantly is the Discord, though. Come out and hang and chat. Shoot the shit with us. We always like hanging out with y'all in there. So we will see you guys on the next one. Remember, Fridays at noon Eastern. These always go up. The main episodes will go up Wednesdays at noon as well. So take care. Bye-bye for now.